Hello people, hope you're all well. What are we on now? The 6th of October. It's a bit colder now. Got the old coat on, wellies. But today I just wanted to talk about the wounded child, toxic parenting. I was in a relationship with somebody who was quite damaged by the actions of the parents, and I learnt a lot about narcissistic personality types at that time, or during that, at the end, let's say near the end. I discovered what gaslighting was, and I discovered what emotional abuse, toxic relationships, mind games. But at the end of the day, and there's loads of stuff out there about narcissists now, since I started talking about it a few years ago, it just seems to be everywhere now. People are catching on to the fact that these people have a lack of empathy. The world revolves around them, and I think in a lot of cases, as much as you can't change that behaviour, it's deep set. It's, as parents, we need to consider the contribution that we make to that personality type. I mean, it's a big responsibility being a parent, as you know, goes without saying really, doesn't it? However, there's a lot of very immature parents out there who are very self-centered, who haven't grown up out of that ego state. And I know that being filled with fear and the media and the assault that's been on this generation for the last 30 years is a contributing factor. It's not just down to the parenting. However, I know of a few cases recently on parent alienation. I mean, in one case, it was recently in court. I think he's been separated from his mum now because of his dad's actions for 2 years. She tried to get social workers involved. The psychologist is now saying that he's psychologically damaged by the parent alienation from his father, that he's toxic in the sense of poisoning the child's mind against his mum. He's causing a very big rift between two brothers who were very close in age, did everything together. Made a good argument in court for the child to return back to mum, but having been through what he's been through, he's going to need some psychological help, or else in future years he's likely to be a young offender, get himself in lots of trouble. So because of the selfish actions and the nastiness of people who think it's a good idea to keep a parent who is a loving parent, I'm not talking about abusive parents, I'm talking about loving parents. If you're that toxic that you can't see what you're doing to your child, and the relationship you have with your child is likely to suffer, because they're either going to be very damaged and not very nice people, or they're going to be very angry at how they've been treated. Either way, they've got to work through that. And as parents, we're supposed to help our children, not hinder them. And these courts, these family courts, I mean, not even family courts, it's not even, some of these cases aren't in family court, but even when the psychologist says it's going to be damaging for the child to stay where he is without, and he needs help, they adjourn till, for 6 months? Another half a year out of a child's life, a very young child who is going to have a massive impact on, and recommending that social services get involved. Well, they didn't want to know 2 years ago, when they could have intervened and they could have managed the situation, because clearly parents who've separated, there's usually a reason. Very rarely do they get on. I've mediated between parents who are very angry with each other, very self-centered, and it's the child is used as a pawn in their game, and they're riding on emotions. They're riding on emotions and damaging the children without even realising it in a lot of cases. They're just acting on how they feel, which is very selfish, because the impact on the child is devastating in a lot of cases. And so these wounded children become nasty adults in a lot of cases. They become very controlling because their environment's been so disruptive, unsafe in some cases, that they have to protect themselves. And that's, you know, they have to put themselves first in a lot of cases just to survive. But when they do that, as they become adults, they take these jobs now that we're seeing, where we're looking at these people and we're saying, how could you do that? How could you do the bidding of the government against the people because you're one of us when you take that uniform off? Whether you're a police, a social worker, a nurse, or whatever you are, when you're doing their bidding, these are the sort of people that they want to employ. They want to employ people that have no heart, that have no compassion for the fellow man, that have had to protect themselves from a cold, hard world, so therefore become cold and hard in it. And, you know, it's them and us. And as long as they're getting paid at the end of the day and they can afford the things that make them happy, well, they think make them happy, because unless your soul's settled, you can never really find peace and happiness. It's a sadistic sort of happiness, I guess. But either way, we have to, as parents and grandparents, we have to get out of this mindset that they've put us into. That, you know, our children are gifts that should be cherished and taught well, and we should be putting out adults who get on well in the community, who care about their environment and who have compassion for the fellow man. Not people that other people don't like, not people that people despise because of the role they've taken in life that goes against humanity in a way. When you're beating people up on the street because they're protesting about something that affects all of us, and they're not being selfish, they're doing it because they care, and then these people come along and have no compassion for what they try to stand up for, and it's their rights that are taken away as well. And particularly now, I mean, you have to understand as well, allowing them to inject your child with some poison and you have no clue how that's going to affect your child. Some kids are dying unnecessarily, fit and healthy before, heart problems appearing that are never heard of really. So, you know, it's a plea to parents, I guess, to be sensible, to keep the faith, to invest in your children, invest in their future, and at least give them a chance at one, because that's slipping away. I think I'm seeing messages from people about how many schools are doing the jabbing and how many kids are getting it done, and I just wonder what these parents, on a daily basis, they're living in fear. They must be, because you wouldn't do that if you weren't living in fear. And sometime in your life you've got to stand up for what's right. So yeah, just have in mind how your child is feeling through all of this strange times. What are you doing that could be impacting negatively on your child? How are you treating the other parent? If that parent cares for that child, you have no right to keep them apart. And the mudslinging and, you know, destroying each other's souls, really. I mean, what does that leave your child with? When that child knows that he's part of you two, you know, at least be someone that they can like, look up to, respect, want to do well for, want to care for. Your relationship with your child goes on a lot longer than childhood, and you need to protect it, maintain it, cherish it. I'm so truly blessed for the relationship I have with my children and my grandchildren. And we've been through difficult times. We've got through them because we love each other. At the end of the day, I don't want my children. There's enough people out in the wide world to make you feel shit. I don't want to be, and I never have, you know, the name calling and things like that they resort to when they're angry with the kids and stuff. Kids carry these around, they absorb them into the psyche, and just be mindful. Your words carry an energy and a vibration that can stick, and negatives seem to stick longer than the positives. And you should never give your child more than 1 negative to 10 positives, I would say. They've got to feel good in their skin, and we've got to help them do that, because everywhere around them, the school and everywhere else, media pushing onto them, and they don't realise we've got to protect them from that. You know, you just have to look around how many mental health problems there are. It's like we've gone from being in an open prison to an open asylum. And I think the patients outnumber the staff. Well, I wouldn't call them staff, but the sane people. You know, at least the sane people can feel that they're not crazy anymore when they just look around and see how people are behaving. It's erratic. It's protect your family, protect your loved ones, protect those close to you, because at the end of the day, they're the ones that matter. And when you have that love and you surround your family with it, that resonates out. It vibrates. That vibration, you send it out into the world. It's an energy, and when you are around positive energy, it picks you up. And that's what we've got to do for the people around us that are so fearful and depressed and lost, really. We've got to keep up a positive spirit just to help them out. So yeah, pay in mind the wounded child. When you're dealing with a nasty person, just walk away, just leave them to it. You know, don't let them absorb your soul with their negativity, and try to leave them with a positive, as much as you may feel they don't deserve it. We've all got a story to tell, we've all got a past, and we've all been damaged in some way. It's just some of us are lucky enough to find our way out of it, see the lessons and the blessings, and take it as a strength, not a weakness. Find your power and stand in that, and you'll find the light. So I'm going to leave you with that. Peace, love and light. Give us a like and a share, and subscribe if you want to. That'd be nice. Get the numbers up, since I keep getting banned on the other channel. I'm using this one and I'm recording because I can't go live. Alright, love you all. Bye.